What's up, guys? It's me, Alan. I'm back with another video. And this is going to be a different sort of video from what I've normally been doing. Um, this, I am taking inspiration from Steve Dangle and his trade tree videos over on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. Links to his channel, Sportsnet's channel, and his podcast channel, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with Adam Wild and Jesse Blake, will all be in the description below. The links to them, of course. Now, I'm not going to do an NHL trade tree. That's his thing. I'm going to do one with the NFL. This isn't just going to be about one specific player, though. This is going to be about a particular draft pick in the 1994 NFL draft that got traded multiple times. Once before and again during. We're going to look at the players that were acquired via the picks, how their careers turned out, and yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Now, of course, I'm not Steve Dangle. I don't have a freelance editor, Tom, aka Flet, or really any editing software of my own on this laptop to work with. So I had to draw this all out, and there it is, the 1994 number 7 overall pick trade tree. Yeah, gotta go old school here. All right, so let's get on with it. But first, before we get to the draft, we got to get to a trade. March 24th, 1994, the Indianapolis Colts traded away quarterback Jeff George to the Atlanta Falcons for their 1994 first and 1994 third round picks and a future first round pick in 1996. Now, that 1996 pick, that was one hell of a pick. But we'll get to that later on. For Jeff George, his career with the Colts, it wasn't great. 52 games and 49 starts in about 4 years with the team. He went 14 and 35 through 1,532 passing attempts, 874 completions for 9,551 yards, 41 touchdowns, 36 interceptions. His time in Atlanta was a bit better, but not really. He ended up starting 35 games for the team in 3 years. Goes 16 and 19. He went 7 and 9 his first year there, 9 and 7 the second, or vice versa, one of the two. And then 0 and 3 in the 1996 season before the infamous heated argument he had with then head coach June Jones on the sidelines during a game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Falcons, they chose to suspend him for the rest of the season. And, well, it boiled down to that eventually. For his career in Atlanta, again, 16 and 19, 1,180 attempts, 714 completions for 8,575 yards, 50 touchdowns, 32 interceptions, and he would leave for Oakland in free agency, and he didn't do a ton. Yeah, he played some more, but he was not that great of a quarterback, and for the Falcons and for the rest of the teams he played for, it just didn't work out for him. So, going into the draft, of course, we have the infamous moment during the draft for the Colts, and then GM Bill Tobin. Mel Kiper was like, he was pissed that the Colts didn't take a quarterback because at the time, going into the draft, the only quarterback they had on the roster was John Harbaugh. Yes, John Harbaugh. You heard me right. And he wanted them to take Trent Dilfer because, of course, Heath Schuler had gone to the Redskins. So, wanted them to take Dilfer. They didn't. And Kiper, he sounded off about it. Bill Tobin gets interviewed, and he delivers the most amazing line of all time. One of the greatest sound bites ever. Who the hell is Mel Kiper? Anyway. Oh my God. And as Chris Berman said on the broadcast, that day would live in infamy. Wow. But there was some wheeling and dealing going on. Indianapolis, they took the 7th overall pick from the Falcons and the 83rd overall pick, which was the third round pick that they got from the Falcons, and they packaged those in a deal with the Rams to move up to the 5th pick. That ended up being linebacker Trev Alberts. Now, Alberts, again, he was the pick, and that's what led to the Kuiper sound off, and then the Bill Tobin quote and all that. But for Trev Albert's career, he only played a couple years in Indy. Injuries really hampered him, and he ended up retiring basically after his rookie contract was over. Only had one interception, three forced fumbles, and two sacks. 34 games, seven starts across his career. The pick didn't work out, but it still, as a result of it, it still gave us one of the greatest quotes of all time, in draft history. And you also got to keep in mind the Colts, they already picked once in this draft, just a few picks earlier, and that got them Marshall Faulk. So, who of course later would go on to be part of the greatest show on turf Rams, that would go on to beat the Titans in the Super Bowl and then lose to the Pats a couple years later. But I digress. For the Rams, they ended up keeping that third round pick, but the 7th round pick got moved again. This time, it got traded to the 49ers for the 15th overall pick, which was acquired in a previous trade with the Chargers, the 56th overall pick in the second round, and the 100th overall pick in the third round, which was acquired from Philadelphia by the Niners in a previous trade. Won't get into the trades for the 15th and the 100th picks from previous, but as far as the picks, the Niners would keep the 7th overall pick and use it to take defensive tackle Bryant Young. He played his entire career there, 208 games, all of which were starts, 20 passes defended, 12 forced fumbles, 7 fumble recoveries, 89.5 sacks, 627 combined tackles, and in the playoffs, 11 games, 11 starts, 2 passes defended, 3 sacks, 32 combined tackles. He was a 4-time Pro Bowler. He made the All Pro first team in 1996, and he ended up winning the Super Bowl in his rookie year, 1994, with the 49ers against the Chargers. Which, if you remember that, we all know that line from, from Steve Young, somebody get the monkey off my back, which was hilarious. But yeah, Bryant Young he had an amazing career with the Niners and, retired after 2007. Hell of a career. Hell of a pick. And, for the fact that he got traded so much, in the end, for the team that got it, it worked out. For the Rams, on the other hand, not so much. They ended up trading down, of course, like I said, got the 15th pick along with 2 others. So that's actually a pretty good haul considering, again, you trade with the Colts, you get a first and a third for a first. You keep the third, you flip the first, and then you get, the Niners first via San Diego, and you get a second and a third. But it's all about what you do with those picks. And for the Rams, again, didn't work out. They ended up using the 15th pick on Wayne Gandy, an offensive tackle. He played like 4 years with the team, 80 games, 73 starts, left for Pittsburgh in free agency in 1999. He was a serviceable offensive lineman. The second round pick ended up being Brad Otis. Spent 2 years with the team, 15 games, 0 starts, 1 sack, 9 combined tackles on the defensive line. Left for Arizona in free agency in 96. James Bostic ended up being the sorry, my apologies. Otis was the 56th pick. James Bostic ended up being the 83rd overall pick, and he never played for the team. He was briefly on the Miami Dolphins practice squad late, ended up getting waived late in September of 1998, ended up playing for Philadelphia in 98 99, And there you go from there. Ernest Jones, linebacker, out of the University of Oregon. So that's cool. Wearing my Oregon shirt right now, actually. But unfortunately, he didn't do much. Never played for the Rams after he got drafted. He signed with the Saints in free agency in '95. Career just didn't really go anywhere. Now, there was a future first round pick involved in that Jeff George trade. And Atlanta, you're probably regretting trading that pick now. I mean, hell, you got rid of Jeff George for 2 firsts and a third. That ain't bad. But in 1996, in that draft, the Atlanta Falcons pick ended up being 19th overall. And with it, the Indianapolis Colts selected wide receiver Marvin Harrison. Yeah. Played his entire career with Indianapolis, 190 games, 188 starts, got targeted 1,781 times, 1,102 receptions for 14,580 yards, 128 TDs, and in the 16 games, all starts in the playoffs, 133 targets, 65 receptions, 883 yards, 2 touchdowns, 8-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first team All Pro. He went with the Colts and they won a Super Bowl in 2006, late in his career, by the way, because he ended up retiring in 2008. And he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, inducted in 2016. One of the people he got inducted alongside of was his former head coach, Tony Dungy. How awesome is that? I mean, Marvin Harrison himself, he was a quiet guy. He let his production do the talking, and it damn sure did. So, for a pick that got traded between 4 different teams, I mean, the 7th overall pick, it netted the 49ers a defensive tackle who would play his entire career there, won a Super Bowl in his rookie year, and was a very good defensive tackle. For the Falcons, they got a quarterback that he wasn't great, and his attitude, it just did not work out. Gets suspended in his 3rd year with the team, and then he's gone. For the Rams, they got a pretty good haul, not only getting the 3rd from Indy, but, a 1st, a 2nd, and a 3rd from the Niners. None of the picks worked out. Probably the best one out of them was Gandy. And he left the team for Pittsburgh after about 4 years. And then for the Colts, the Trev Alberts pick didn't work out, but they ended up getting a future first in that deal. And that future first turned into a Hall of Fame wide receiver who played his entire career, catching passes from Peyton Manning. So if I'm the Indianapolis Colts, I'm loving that. You traded Jeff George, and just 2 years later, you get Marvin Harrison at the 19th pick, no less. So anyway, thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know what you think. I know this isn't the same as Steve Dangle's trade trees because I don't have all the editing stuff. I don't have all the clips. I don't have all the visuals. But I gotta say, for my first trade tree video, I think I picked a good one. I think I picked a solid trade tree to do. And yeah, so thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.